Our lead this hour is from Pro Bouncy Ball. We go to the Cream City. The Milwaukee Bucks are not only a basketball team, they blow. There she blows. 1-6 to begin the year. Now, it's a small sample size, and they'll win their share of games, you would assume. However, the Bucks in this moment in time, this little shot of time, are terrible. And there's a lot of finger pointing going on, and it's not my fault, this guy's fault, blah, 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 blah. And they've got a lot of salary cap issues. Oh, woe is me. They don't have any draft picks like draft picks play. Come on. So if you've not been following this, you know I love the losing locker room, the better stories in the losing locker room. And so we're hearing a lot of noise out of Milwaukee about saying bye-bye to franchise headliner Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, this is not a drill. And this is likely the beginning of many Maller monologues that will become the obligatory Maller monologue about the future of Giannis. Is he ready to leave? Are things going so bad, so moldy in Milwaukee that he wants out? Now, we're told that nothing is imminent. Nothing's going to happen today or tomorrow. Nevertheless, the people that claim to know, the people that say they know what's going on, are pointing towards the eventual divorce for the Greek Freak, that he will exit stage right and he'll go somewhere else, and the divorce is going to happen. It's on the horizon with the Bucks. So let us discuss the question. I want to stress this, there are no current, at this moment, trade conversations about Giannis Antetokounmpo leaving the Bucks. That the chatter is it will pick up as the season goes on, and that something will likely happen in the not too distant future. So can you unravel what all this means? So I've got Jay-Z, Laundromat, and Reprogrammed. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a toaster oven is what we're going to make. All right, so first of all, just so we're on the same wavelength here, it's relatively straightforward, right? Relatively straightforward. This is the point of conception. This is where the rumor starts, and it goes away, goes dormant for a while, and then it comes back. It comes back. The Bucks are playing like a bunch of clucks right now, right? Bok, bok, chicken. They have sucked at a time you cannot suck. You talk about getting the full Doc Rivers experience. You're getting it. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. Now, normally, to be fair to Doc, what up, Doc? Doc is just bad at everything. I don't know if you heard what he said about the presidential election. He couldn't have been more wrong about that. And this as well, just coaching the team. Normally, for Doc Rivers, you wait till the playoffs for things to unravel. But here we are, and Milwaukee is getting a jump on the festivities here. Not even the playoffs, it's the regular season, and they're terrible. Even if Milwaukee does win their share, and they're going to win some of these games. They're not going to lose 1-6 and that kind of team all year. This Giannis story, okay, it's going to be like a collab between Jay-Z and Linkin Park. The Greek Freak is on a collision course with our old friend, the transfer portal, if you will. It's heading that way. This is the standard storyline in the NBA. This is always how it starts. Well, no trade is going to happen anytime soon. However, but, not that far away. Yeah. So, star player, unhappy, but subtle about it, and then eventually the star player ends up with the usual suspects. Team in L.A., team in Miami, maybe a team in Texas, but possibly Golden State. One of those teams. Stay tuned. Developing hot, ... Now, secondly, by request, I was not going to talk about this, but several of you idiots have said, "Oh, what are you talking about? What, are you ignoring it? You got to be embarrassed." Okay, so what is it? What is it? Let me explain. So I don't normally talk about random regular season basketball games. Why would I? Nobody watches them. They're not that interesting. But this night different than all other nights because Philadelphia, their traveling circus without Joel Embiid, entered into the hood in Inglewood. Date with the people's team, the Clippers. And that meant a return for Paul George, by George, the 76ers small forward, made his homecoming against his old team, the Clippers. Now, in the game, Norman Powell. Who? Norman Powell had 26 points. The people's team, the good guys beat the bad guys, 110-98. Now, George had 18 points. He only played 23 minutes in action. Philly lost the game. But during the game, the story is rather simple here. Paul George was serenaded by the passionate Clipper fan base with chants of PG sucks, PG sucks, over and over again. So, question, can you explain why Paul George was booed repeatedly and over-the-top booing by the Clipper fan? Can you explain? Yes. So this is, I'm going to use some math. They said there would be no math. Here's the math. 2 + 2 = 4. That's the math. Okay, that's the math. Paul George went to the laundromat, and he walked into that laundromat, and he had to take his clothes out of the dryer. Except he took someone else's clothes out of the dryer. Period. Hard stop. Now, Paul George likely would have had no reaction from the fans if he had not turned into an enemy combatant. Now, part of this is just he's wearing the wrong laundry. However, Paul George wrote his own ticket to boodom. And how do you write your own ticket to boodom? Well, here's what you do. He went on his podcast and trashed the Clippers. And the Clipper fan, the top fan of basketball in L.A., the real fan, the Clipper fan, they don't forget, right? They heard what Paul George, Podcast P, said, right? They heard what he had to say. And so, hey, don't choke on a cheesesteak, Paul. You're going to be booed. That's how it works. That's how it works. Show a little video there and all that, and you took the money, and now you can play out as you're long in the tooth in Philly. All right, final thought. Let's go over to TV Land and the NBA. Another story out that the TV ratings are going down, 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 down. A dramatic shrinkage. That's right, dramatic shrinkage for the NBA television product. And a lot has been said about this. A lot of experts have chimed in that the reason for this is because the younger generation of star players they're not popular. People don't like them. They don't like them the way they like Steph Curry or LeBron or Kevin Durant. And the viewership continues to decline in the NBA. So I ask again, a follow-up to a previous Maller monologue, what is wrong with the product? So where do we begin? My position, now supposedly these international players, we just talked about Giannis, Nikola Jokic, they're not compelling. They don't bring an audience to American television. People do not watch them. So the headline, who are the headliners? The headliners are Ant Edwards, Devin Booker, and the Parisian prodigy, Wemby, right? And those guys, they have not moved the needle, even though Wemby's exciting and is spindly and all that and done things that haven't been done before. However, the reality is that people aren't flocking to watch him. So I have a theory. I have a Maller theory on why the NBA product is in the toilet. It's pretty simple. For almost a decade now, the NBA has reprogrammed their customers. And now they're feeling the effects of that. Fans have been sent over the last 10 years. Now, they tried to change this last year damage done. Fans have been sent to re-education camps because when I was growing up, the regular season mattered. Players took pride in it. Right? Even the All-Star game, they took pride in that, right? And these players in the NBA today have spat loogies all over the All-Star game, all over the regular season. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter. They're incapable of putting an honest effort in during the regular season. And they have told people via nerds and medical gurus who are into all kinds of voodoo boogaloo that you don't need to watch the regular season. Just watch the playoffs. And if you're a player, you don't have to play in the regular season. Just show up for the playoffs. It's all because of LM, load management. And there are repercussions. And we're seeing those repercussions. You reap what you sow, and every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and there are consequences when you tell people, don't watch. That's essentially what you're saying when the star players don't show up. Don't watch.